Hello everyone, this is Ellie from Samurai Flag. Welcome to my room, Samurai Flag share house. Today I'm going to be talking about the current situation in Japan. We've been in a state of emergency, but it seems that the state of emergency will be uplifted soon. The number of infected people is declining every day, which is for me amazing to see, because comparing it to the other countries in the West, we've seen that they've been under lockdown and they were not allowed to go outside, and there were many restrictions put on them. There wasn't any strict kind of a lockdown. We saw that local authorities and government urged people to stay home. They didn't push them, but people still decided to respect what they said, and they were still trying to distance themselves, and they were trying to avoid places with lots of people, which was quite great, I think. And I think that's also one of the reasons why the number of infected people is constantly declining. And so I feel the fact that Japanese didn't need to be limited in any way, and that the only advice was enough for them to kind of change their behavior is wonderful, and I think it would not be possible in any different country. So I also wanted to discuss some other points that I feel or that I respect about Japanese people. I feel the Japanese people are incredibly hospitable, and interesting is that whenever I visit my friend's house, or whenever I go out with my Japanese friends, they would always be very modest. For example, if I spent New Year's at my friend's family, and they would always, before I came, they would tell me, oh, it's not gonna be anything special, it's just gonna be a small dinner, and we're not gonna make like any big celebration, so please don't have high expectations. But then when I came, it was just amazing, because they really prepared so much, and they were always very welcoming. They really made me feel at home, and even though they said it wasn't going to be anything special, it was more than special, and they made sure that I was comfortable, and they really wanted me to try different foods, and they kept on like giving me stuff, which was just wonderful. And even though it was New Year's and I was missing my family, they still gave me that family feeling, which I appreciate. So Japanese hospitality is definitely one of my favorite things about Japan. Also, another thing is their respect to the nature, because comparing to the other countries, or comparing to my own country, the environment here seems to be much cleaner, especially the city environment. You don't just see the trash everywhere. Of course, like there are some parts that are not extremely clean, like nothing can be extremely clean, I suppose. When I'm in the forest, for example, in my country, it's quite often that I find plastic bottles just lying around, or some trash, but in Japanese forest I have not experienced it yet, so, or maybe just very, very, very little. So that's definitely one of other points that I respect about Japan. Another thing that I really like is how Japanese really think about their environment and about the people around them. So I feel Japanese are not selfish, that they're considering other people's feelings a bit more. For example, even in daily things like standing in line, so it's not common to cut in line, and people always make sure not to hurt someone else's feelings, and I really like that, because there's a lot of order and everything is very organized. And when I compare it to my country, I think we are quite considerate of each other, but things like cutting in line or maybe being angry at someone is more common. But in Japan, I don't encounter these situations almost never. So Japanese people are thinking about the community, it seems, and instead of just themselves. That's just my impression. I think customer service in Japan is extraordinary compared to the other countries. it's also top quality, but what I like about customer service in Japan is that it feels very friendly. So whenever I go to a cafe or restaurant, I meet with staff that is always very willing to help me. They make me feel very welcome. So they make me feel happy. They want to talk to me a little bit, and they would sometimes in the cafe they would maybe draw a little face and they would say welcome to Japan. And I think that's just so wonderful because they're very busy and there are many people in line and they're just running around because there's so many customers, but they still make sure that they draw you that little heart and say thank you. Another thing that I really appreciate is how Japanese have always helped me whenever I had trouble. So I remember the first time I came to Japan and I was lost, and in the middle of the night there was nobody on the street and I didn't know where I was. There was one person passing on a bike and I couldn't speak Japanese at all, but I was like, oh please, can you tell me where this place is? And he was riding on the bike and I think he was also having a phone call, but when he heard me like asking for help, he hung up the phone, he stopped immediately, and he spent so much time with me, and he even took me to that place where I wanted to go, even though it was in the opposite direction. So that was really, really amazing, and I've had these moments in Japan happening so many times. Last time I was in Ota City, and I was once again lost and my phone died, so I had no battery and I needed to get to the train station, but I had no idea where I was. There was again nobody on this in the streets. Just this one guy passed by and I asked him if he could show me where the train station is, and he took me there. Again, he was going to another place, but he changed his route just to take me to the train station, so I was really helpful. Another time it happened so many times. I was going to one dancing activity with children and I couldn't find the place, so I asked two people, they were walking their dog, if they could show me, and instead of just showing me once again, they just took me to that place. And I think this is so amazing because if it was maybe me before I came to Japan, if somebody in Europe asked me where is this place, I would just show them. I would just say, oh, just go this way and then turn left or right. But I think I want to try to be more like Japanese, and next time if somebody asks me for help in my country, I'm gonna take that person to that place. Thank you very much, Japanese people. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what you thought. Do you agree with what I say or do you disagree? Let me know your opinion. If you would like to see more videos, you can also go to my channel, Ellie Fox on the Road. 旅キツネです。I look forward to seeing you there. また次の動画で会いましょう。大好き。Thank you very much. Bye bye.